earlier this hour, we shared with you a one-of-a-kind effort hoping to make a change here in St. Louis. Dozens of nonprofits and grassroots organizations are taking on youth violence in the city of St. Louis. So now our Dion Braxton joining us here on set as we put a bigger focus on this ongoing problem. And Dion, I think what a lot of people want to know the solutions that some of these organizations want to see. So what do organizers from these organizations believe could be a solution to this?
So I want to start with the teen perspective first. I spoke to teens this week, and they say they don't feel safe in their communities. These were teens who live in North City, and they say people around them have guns, so they feel safer if they have a gun with them. Now, you talk about the Washington Avenue shooting that we saw a couple weeks ago, and they tell me situations like that, you normally don't see it because it's premeditated. They will tell you that it's kind of spur of the moment, emotional kind of things, and they say this has kind of become the norm here in St. Louis. And those teens, they were at a rec center, and we spoke about rec centers a lot, about how they want to use these as avenues to keep kids out of trouble and safe. So we have a soundbite from those teens coming up right now.
I don't really care if they can have all the guns in the world, because it's protection. St. Louis, I feel like everybody needs protection in St. Louis, because who wouldn't want to walk around without protection? It all depends on how you grow up. Your point of view, how your family raised you. Because if you scared to be around guns and everybody you're around got guns, that's gonna make you scared and nervous. If you raised up like that, you could be around 42 guns and not care. You probably gonna know the name of every gun you're around.
Now I'm going to give you the community activist side. They kind of said some of the same things, where they feel that kids won't really pay attention to these laws, and they feel that they want to work on their emotions, because like we talk about the Washington Ave shooting, they feel like these are situations where kids respond with emotions and not logical thinking. So, and one of the things that they believe that can come from, gun laws is that, black kids can be stopped and frisked, and they don't want that to happen, and they kind of elaborate more on that.
We can't be against something that's trying to help our community. We have to help fix it. We have to help adjust it. We don't want to violate the rights of our young black males, but we want to make sure that they're being safely protected and our community is safely protected.
If their parents are engaged with how their children feel, what their child is going through, if their child needs behavioral corrections or anything like that, those conversations can be started either right now or on Saturday. But nonetheless, that's where you start. It ain't gonna happen with no bill or trying to get people that already got license to carry a weapon not be able to carry a weapon in hopes that they don't get stopped and frisked.
And one last question I have for you, Dion. Talking with the youth or some of the activists, I think a lot of people are trying to grasp onto some of this hope. I mean, did you get a sense of hope for the future near and even in the long term?
If I'm being honest, I don't think there's much hope. And that's hard for me to say, seeing these things happen in this community. I feel like it's a desperation attempt right now. They're calling it a pandemic level emergency, kind of what we saw with the pandemic, and they're calling it a crisis. And I think we're just throwing things at the wall and seeing if it sticks. And this is something I've never seen before, with these nonprofits calling this press conference and all coming together, because what they told me earlier is kind of segregated in St. Louis, where you don't see nonprofits and necessarily all types of people working together. People are kind of in their own avenue. So when I saw them call this press conference today, I feel like this is maybe that Washington Avenue shooting was probably the boiling point for a lot of people. And they really want a lot of people, parents, teachers, kids, family members, uncles, aunts, they want them to show up Saturday for this forum at Harris Stowe.
Yeah, one thing for sure, we can't stop working to find solutions and to put hopefully a better solution to all of this. All right, Dion, thank you. Well, and the Save Your Youth Public Forum, as Dion just mentioned, it's Saturday from 10 a.m. until noon at Harris Stowe State University. That will be in the main auditorium.